see how this looks. Alrighty, what's up guys? So today I wanted to just do a Skygo Boss 150 update after 9 months of ownership. Obviously I've done some mods. If you take a look at it, I added a, what is that, footrest, grab bar? Engine guard bar, footrest down there, and an oil cooler. Replaced the stock spark cable, not really necessary, I just did it because it was cheap. And I'm also running a Nibby, what's it called, ignition coil, which you can see up there, the little yellow thing, and a Nibby PZ26 or PE26 carb, sorry, mainly because it's got easy adjustment here on the side for the idle, which does come in handy just depending on the weather, because you know how carbs are. I live in altitude, so on a cold day or on a hot day, sometimes the idle will just be a bit off and you'll get cutouts like after a hard ride. And I've been riding it hard, like I've been riding it pretty hard considering where I live, like up here in the mountain. And yeah, I just wanted to do like a bit of an update. The heat shield I had here fell off, like it just wasn't good enough quality. This heat shield's solid, like it's all metal, so metal and metal underneath. The other one had plastic, like at the attachment point. So yeah, I haven't even removed the plastic that's in between the foot peg. And yeah, removed some stickers. I just wanted a cleaner look, and you know, they were a bit of an eyesore for some people. Like I didn't mind them, but at the same time, it's like an acquired taste, and you can't go wrong with black. So anyway, what to note really? I've done actually every 500 or so. I'm only at 1,000, so just a little bit past break-in, and I've just done the regular oil changes. I did like an early valve clearance check because it was running a bit weird when I first got it, and I haven't touched them since. It does have a bit of noise, but that's fairly normal. As long as it's starting up easily and riding well and not cutting out on me, I don't feel the need to tune the valves, like to try to readjust the clearances. Kind of like, you know, if it's running fine, leave it alone, and when I start noticing something weird, that's when I'll have a look at them. But the main issues, like when you have loose valves or tight valves, is you'll get issues with startup and running. So it doesn't have those problems. And just give my little mirrors a quick wipe because I'm about to ride. And I also, these are like aftermarket mirrors that you can buy, but the ones that are available that go into bar ends, I also noticed that they've got a bit of weight to them, and they actually help a lot with vibration. And I was wondering why some owners of this bike complain about vibrations. And apart from the loose exhaust nuts that I had to tighten up when I replaced the exhaust, I also noticed that there's no bar ends, like there's no weighted bar ends. And on my previous like little 125cc bike, the weighted bar ends actually make a big difference. So having some weighted bar ends or getting bar end mirrors can actually help you with vibrations if you're experiencing that. And because I run a shorter gearing, I run 1545 on the rear sprocket, for torque going uphill carrying stuff, I actually run fairly high RPMs. So you'd think my vibration would be much worse than the original gearing, which is 1539 on the front and rear sprocket. And it's not, like it's decent. It's very manageable. I don't really have any issues. And yeah, enough talking. I'm going to get it out there and we're going to start it up and see how we go. Just got to move this random chair that is out in the middle of the, thank you whoever did that. Maybe I'll just tax this chair. Nah, it's not mine. I'll put it in the chapel next door. We've been widening our driveway because we might get a little tricycle later. A little rickshaw. But we're not sure yet. There's issues with the one at the local dealer. Like there was a broken light. They didn't want to replace it because it's a warranty thing. And so if you buy it like that, I don't know if they have ready available parts, because you'd think they'd just warranty it straight up in the shop. But they wanted us to buy it first, so it's like I'll just wait for the next unit to come in. And they said I asked when are the next units, and they said next week. So we'll see how we go. And yeah, it's been sitting for one day. I drove it the day before, so and it's around midday here in Philippines, maybe 30 degrees or so. And wait, I'll just double check I'm recording, sorry, because I don't want to, it's a bit hard to tell when the thing's helmet mounted. Is this recording? Yeah, it's still going. Okay, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I am using my Ray Hayes external mix to try to get good voice quality, and I've also got one on my hip for the exhaust, so I'm not going to talk too much once I'm riding. And I'm also not going to, this is my little music thing, I play this to keep myself awake when I'm doing late rides, errand runs and stuff, but I'm not going to play it for this ride because I want to do a bit of a spirited drive and not have music drowning out the engine sound. Like, I want you to hear how the bike's running. Alrighty, so this is it here. No complaints really. Everything's good. I probably could use a fresh oil on the chain, but it'll survive one more ride, maybe when I get back. And yeah, so petcock on. This thing's a bit loose, my helmet mount. Like, it's literally mounted on a half-face helmet, and I've just stuck the 3M sticky mount thing on it. But I could probably tighten up the helmet just to make it not shake around too much. And hopefully you guys can just get a good, just adjusting them. It's only going to be a quick ride, like 5 minutes. It's a 15-minute ride according to Google Maps from my place down to town here in Bald, Philippines. But I can do it a bit quicker. Alrighty, so do you think we need choke at this time of day? Midday? Probably not. And that's the startup. And I've also noticed, like, after the break-in, it was more of an issue when it was brand new. After the break-in, 30 seconds is fine for warming it up. You don't need to, like, sit for 2 minutes. Originally I had to sit for a bit, but I've changed oil. I'm running Motul oil at the moment, 3000. I hope it's genuine, but I'll probably change it out again soon because I've got a little what's it called? I've got a valve thing, and it's like you replace the oil bolt, and then it's got a cap, and it's got like a little valve, and the cap releases the valve, and the cap has a built-in like hose. And so when you screw this cap on, it releases the valve and you can drain it straight into a bottle. So it's like an easy drain bolt that I'm going to replace. So if I change the oil, that'll be the purpose, is just to get this valve on there and see how it goes. Just to make the maintenance, like, I'll do maintenance more often if it's easy, but you know, when it's a hassle and undoing bolts and stuff gets annoying. So yeah, there we go. It's already warmed up. I still do the same trick, and that is I pull the clutch in, rev it once, let the clutch out, and that unsticks the plates if they've been sitting a bit, like for a day. Yeah, alrighty, I've got errands to run, and we'll see how we go. So first gear, all good. which it is. See, all good. And one good thing about this Nibby is the quality is higher. The float rarely ever gets stuck. I had it get stuck once. It was probably the bad fuel, but the Kine carbs, whatever, Kahin, always got plugged up. Alrighty guys, so I'm back. I got 3 trays of eggs in the top box. It can fit 4, but I'm just sharing what I'm carrying for this ride. And this is a stress test. I kind of didn't really plan this, but I figure it's interesting for some people wondering about the SEC side boxes carry weight. So I've just used the stock mounting system, the universal one, and I've attached it on the sway bar, on the foot peg going up, and also one around the back for, you know, just more stability. And in this side box I've got a 10 kilo sack of rice, so you know that should give you a pretty good idea of what they can handle. The other side just got some meat, but you know, if one side can do 10, I'm sure the other side can do 10. So yeah, enjoy the ride. See how we go. Hopefully my wireless mix haven't run out of battery. So if you can hear me, good. If not, sorry. here. Still good. What? Huh? What? What, guys? The dog opened the gate? Crazy. And it took the fish? It ate the cat's fish. Oh. Alrighty. So just to show you guys one last check, like this is, because I do see posts, people asking like how much can you carry in a side box. As long as you're not going over super bumps at 60 or going on highways, this is a 10 kilo bag of rice. And I've done that kind of thing all the time, but, you know, within reason. If you may not have mounted it properly, if you haven't tightened your bolts, there is some more risk involved, especially if you exceed the recommended weight limits. But I just wanted to show that because, you know, here in Philippines, you know, regulations and stuff, but it's fine for the most part. And here we'll see if our egg's cracked, because this thing does shake a bit, like it's just the way I don't know, you can see, look, see that? Shakes a bit. So it does like absorb. I think the shaking's actually good, because if it's too rigid, like if it's super light, it's tight on the mounting plate and everything, but if it's like really tight, the bumps will be rougher than if it just wobbles a little bit, you know what I mean? So 3 trays of eggs, and they look fine to me. I don't feel any wetness. Yeah. So that's it. That's the 9 months ride. I think it's doing pretty good. I've seen some people complaining that there's a lot of problems. It is still rather low kilometers for 9 months. There's people that do like, you know, 20,000 in the first few weeks and stuff like that. So maybe at higher mileage, if you don't maintain it properly, then you'll run into issues. But so far so good. So thanks for watching, guys. And please like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of video, so I know whether it's worth doing this kind of content or not. And yeah, have a good one.